Welcome to Capitol Review. I'm Mark Hall. DC News Now is your local election headquarters, and we are just days away from the primary day in Virginia. And voters will cast their ballots in key races, including the Republican primary for U.S. Senate and several other key congressional races. And here's what you need to know before heading to the polls. First, voters will need to bring a valid ID. And polls will be open across the state from 6 a.m. until 7 p.m. on Tuesday. Virginia does not require that you register with a political party, meaning you can vote in either the Republican or Democratic primary, but not both. And joining Capitol Review today is DC News Now's Northern Virginia Max Marcilla. Max, welcome back.
Hey, Mark, thanks so much.
There's a lot going on, obviously, Max. There are some elections really happening in different parts of Virginia, but really the most watched and potentially the most competitive races are happening here in Northern Virginia. What do you have your eye on?
Well, there's a couple of races. You're right that Northern Virginia is kind of the epicenter of this election. The main race that we and pretty much most political people around the state have their eyes on is the 7th Congressional District. That's the one to replace Abigail Spanberger, who, of course, is running to become the next governor of Virginia. It's an interesting district. It's probably the most competitive U.S. House district in the entire Commonwealth. It includes parts of Prince William, Stafford, and Spotsylvania. And what we're seeing in this primary in the couple of days is a lot of people on both the Democratic and Republican side. On the Democratic side, you have Eugene Vindman, who, according to some internal polling, might be the leader. He's a political newcomer who kind of got his claim to fame during the Trump impeachment hearings. He's a former military officer, a career military officer who was sort of a whistleblower during those impeachment trials. He leads that internal polling. On the Republican side, there's a number of candidates. So Vindman has to face a couple of local people. Andrea Bailey, a supervisor in Prince William County, and Elizabeth Guzman, she's a former state delegate. Those are a couple of people on the Democratic side. On the Republican side, what we're seeing is a lot of candidates with military experience. If you remember a couple of years ago, this was a race that was competitive between Abigail Spanberger and Yesli Vega. Well, there's a couple of other military people looking to do what Vega couldn't do. You have Derek Anderson, Cameron Hamilton, Jonathan Myers, all three with military background, all three looking, again, to do what Vega couldn't, which is defeat a Democrat. But one last interesting note about this race, Spanberger was very well liked and very popular, so it kind of gave her a leg up and a big reason why she won a couple of years ago. But this is a competitive race with no incumbent, one that Republicans think they could turn.
Max, another Democrat leaving Congress, Jennifer Wexton, of course, she announced that she's not running for re-election as she battles a rare form of Parkinson's disease. A number of Democrats, they're looking to replace her. What's that race looking like?
So that race is a little different than the one we just talked about because it is a strong Democratic seat. There's a dozen Democrats running for it, and essentially whoever wins the Democratic primary, it's not a shoo-in, but it's definitely likely that the Democrat who wins the primary will win this seat. More than about 70% of the voters come from Prince William County and Loudoun County in this seat. But what we have kind of been able to see through the large pool of Democrats is they come from a couple of different backgrounds, but a lot of them have legislative experience. You have Delegate Dan Helmer in Fairfax County, who as of now, according to that same internal poll, has a slight lead. State Senator Suhas Subramaniam, he was endorsed by Wexton, who of course is leaving that seat, and he could have a big push in this race. Those are some of the top vote getters or top polling candidates. There's a lot of money in this race, a lot of competition, and a lot of former legislators. It's a big district, so they're all throughout Northern Virginia, former House Speaker. So this is kind of a who's who in Democratic politics, all trying to make that jump from the state level or the advocacy level or the cabinet level even into Congress.
Obviously, Max, a lot of local races to keep an eye on, most notably the race to replace outgoing Alexandria Mayor Justin Wilson. A couple of city council colleagues are on the ballot there. What are the key issues?
So there's three candidates, and they all kind of acknowledge some of the main issues was almost what did happen. That arena in Potomac Yard for the Wizards and Capitals, that's still a talking point. Not necessarily the arena. That's a dead deal. The teams are happy and staying in D.C. But what to do with that area? Because Alexandria relies a lot on its residents to pay taxes. That's a big part of land with a lot of ideas for what could go there. That's a big deal. So is zoning. If you remember, they recently eliminated single-family zoning in Alexandria. So the 3 candidates, including 2 current city council members, looking to take that seat. And what's probably the most interesting local race, also worth noting, there's all 6 city council seats are up in Alexandria, and only 4 of the incumbents are running, since the others are running for mayor. So you'll get a shakeup in that city as well.
All right, Max, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Mark.
And stay with us. We'll be right back.